We live in a digital world. Every day we rely on countless websites and apps to navigate our lives. But behind the scenes, these digital tools are all connected by a hidden network of messengers called APIs, or Application Programming Interfaces. Think of APIs as waiters in a restaurant. When you order food, the waiter takes your request to the kitchen. The kitchen prepares your meal and sends it back with the waiter. You never see the kitchen, but you get your food. APIs work similarly. They allow different applications to talk to each other, exchanging information and functionality. For example, when you use a travel app to book a flight, the app uses APIs to communicate with airlines, hotels, and other services. This interconnectedness makes our digital lives convenient. But it also creates new challenges, particularly when it comes to security. APIs are sets of rules and specifications that allow one application to access the features or data of another application. They define how different software components should interact, even if they were built by different teams or companies. Imagine you have a jukebox with thousands of songs. You also have a friend who loves to dance but doesn't know the titles of all the songs. An API is like a song catalog that your friend can use to browse the available tunes and select the perfect one to get them on the dance floor. In our digital world, APIs are like those catalogs, enabling different applications to understand each other and work together seamlessly. Because APIs are the backbone of so much of our digital world, keeping them secure is paramount. A security breach in an API can have serious consequences. Imagine a hacker gaining access to a bank's API. They could potentially steal money, manipulate transactions, or even bring down the entire system. This is not just a hypothetical scenario. In recent years, there have been numerous high-profile API attacks resulting in data breaches, financial losses, and reputational damage. Therefore, it's crucial to understand the basics of API security and take steps to protect your applications and data. One of the most important aspects of API security is authentication. Just like a nightclub bouncer checks IDs to ensure only authorized guests enter, API authentication verifies the identity of the application or user trying to access the API. There are several ways to implement API authentication, but one common method is using API keys. Think of API keys as unique passwords that identify and authenticate the client application. When an application wants to access an API, it presents its API key to prove its identity. By requiring authentication, you can prevent unauthorized access to your API and protect your data from malicious actors. Authorization setting boundaries for your API. Once you've authenticated the client application, the next step is authorization. This determines what the authenticated client is allowed to do. It is like giving different guests different levels of access to your home. For example, you might give a house guest access to the guest room and bathroom, but not to your private study or the master bedroom. Similarly, you can use authorization to define what actions each client application can perform on your API, such as reading data, creating new records, or modifying existing ones. By implementing robust authorization mechanisms, you can further enhance your API security and ensure that each client application only has access to the resources it needs. Encryption, keeping secrets safe. Another critical aspect of API security is encryption. This involves encoding the data transmitted between the client application and the API, making it unreadable to anyone without the proper decryption key. Imagine sending a postcard with a secret message written in invisible ink. Only the recipient with the special decoder lens can read the hidden message. Encryption works similarly, safeguarding sensitive information from prying eyes. By encrypting the data exchanged between the client application and the API, you can prevent eavesdropping and protect sensitive information from being compromised. Common API security pitfalls. Despite best efforts, developers sometimes fall into common traps when building and deploying APIs. One frequent oversight is neglecting to implement proper input validation. This means not thoroughly checking the data submitted by users before processing it. Imagine a mischievous child trying to trick a vending machine by inserting a button instead of a coin. Without proper validation, the machine might dispense a snack, even though the payment was invalid. Another common pitfall is using weak or easily guessable API keys. This is like securing your front door with a flimsy lock that can be easily picked. To avoid these pitfalls, developers should follow security best practices such as using strong API keys, implementing input validation, and regularly updating their API security measures. Staying ahead of the security curve. API security is not a one-time fix but an ongoing process. As technology evolves, so do the tactics of malicious actors. To stay ahead of the curve, developers should adopt a proactive approach to API security. This includes staying informed about the latest security threats and vulnerabilities, regularly updating their APIs with security patches, and implementing robust monitoring and logging systems to detect and respond to suspicious activity. By embracing a security-first mindset and continuously improving their API security practices, developers can create a safer and more reliable digital ecosystem for everyone. The everlasting quest for API security. In today's interconnected world, API security is no longer optional, it's a necessity. By understanding the basics of API security and following best practices, developers can build and deploy APIs that are both functional and secure. Remember, securing APIs is an ongoing journey, not a destination. By staying vigilant, adapting to evolving threats, and embracing a security-first mindset, we can create a more trustworthy and resilient digital future for everyone. If you learned something new, like the video, share your thoughts in comment section, and don't forget to subscribe the channel for more related videos.